Welcome, and thank you for joining us at CHIRP News. Keeping a watchful eye over the safety of others, at sea and in port, matters a lot. Today, we're with the National Coast Watch Institution at the top of Calshot Tower. Volunteers here keep their watchful eyes on Southampton water. At CHIRP, we can't oversee your operations, but we can still communicate with you and provide safety-related information to help fellow seafarers. In this video, we include best practice that all at sea will be well advised to follow. Along with that, however, we still have to report issues of safety in tug handling and operating windlasses. In both cases, communication, or the lack of it, is key. For our first case study, we travelled to the coast of Africa.
Safety when handling tugs. In the early hours of the morning, a vessel was unmooring in an East African port. All machinery and equipment needed was in good condition, a risk assessment completed, and risk control measures put in place. Following the plan agreed between master and pilot, headlines and stern lines were released, and then the breast lines. But during the final phase of unmooring, the pilot ordered the tugs assigned to the vessel to pull away from the dock without informing anyone on the bridge. To make matters worse, spring lines had not been slackened or released, an error unnoticed at first by both master and officer of the watch. This resulted in the parting of the forward spring mooring tail. Fortunately, no one was injured and no damage done either to the vessel or the terminal. But it could all have been very different.
If there's one factor that lies at the heart of this near miss, it is communication. Poor communication. Communication with the tugs was in Swahili. The pilot failed to alert the bridge team to his next moves. The master and officer of the watch failed to notice that the spring tail had not been released, so the line came under excessive strain and then parted. CHIRP's advisory board stresses there must be a complete exchange of information between master and pilot before tugs are secured. That spread of information must also extend to the mooring crews and include specific instructions to put the eye of the bitter end of the tug line on a bollard, to stand clear of the line as it's being paid out, and to keep it under control by taking at least one turn around a bollard. Crews should then keep well clear of the line once it is fast. Communication is all. It is too easy for injury and death to strike during mooring and line handling operations. Effective and timely communication is the key to avoiding a tragedy. Don't let it be your ship that makes the headlines for all the wrong reasons.
Damage to an anchor windlass hydraulic motor. A threatening start to the new year for our next vessel. Moored at an open anchorage on New Year's Eve, this ship found herself in severe wind conditions. By 0200, following New Year's Day, gusting up to 40 knots, with heavy rain falling. The crew soon noticed trouble with the ship's anchor. It was slipping from the brake and through the chain stopper. The officer of the watch failed to call the master promptly. No instructions covering the issue had been given in the night order book, or indeed anywhere else. When the master was called, he gave orders to begin heaving up the anchor. But 10 minutes into the recovery, as the fourth chain shackle came on deck, the windlass lost power because of a hydraulic leak. The motor was replaced, a task that took until well after midday, and the anchor came up safely. Fortunately, the master was able to keep his ship on station by using her engines.
We've been here before, and the advice stays the same. If winds of force 6 are on the way, up anchor and get to safer waters or the open sea. Training and maintenance will help reduce the risk of anchor dragging, but masters need to be aware that ship designers assume anchoring takes place in sheltered waters. Greater wave heights mean that anchor systems performance must be expected to fall below manufacturer's guidance. Still, most anchor losses are avoidable, and first-class advice is available from DNVGL, the Swedish Club and GARD. There is also an article in the Maritime Accident Casebook on exploding winches. Links to all these resources can be found on the publications page of our website. And again, communication, communication, communication. Make sure all officers know what to do in such circumstances. Don't let your anchor drag you and your ship into danger.
And now for something completely different. Let's hear it for best practice, the kind that saves at least injury and at best lives, alongside and at sea.
First up, muster station markings. Can you always remember your exact muster station position in an emergency drill? Or could you in the real thing? Well, here's a good idea to help you. Muster stations marked with designated places for the ship's company to stand in the muster list sequence. A must for mustering.
And here's another memory aid in an emergency. A pocket-sized emergency duty card on every life jacket, listing duties assigned in the muster list. Again, invaluable in the midst of all the pressures of an emergency.
The big picture now, which calls to mind our anchor chain report. Retroreflective tape on an anchor chain in a position easily seen with binoculars from the bridge at night. An instant visual reference for the officer of the watch to check whether the anchor chain is slipping.
Another echo of today's CHIRP news. Canvas coverings for mooring ropes in way of the Panama lead to prevent chafing. Simple and effective.
More emergency sense that makes very good sense. Marks on quick closing valves in the engine room, taking engineers straight to the right valve when speed is of the essence during testing and operation. Invaluable in any emergency, of course.
And finally, no space is less forgiving to slips and trips, and worse, than a ship. All seafarers have the bruises to prove it. So why not put zebra markings like these on entrance and exit ladders of crew accommodation? And other areas too.
As ever, safety at sea in all things, large and small, is what drives us. Simple tips, like the ones David and Steve had just reported, can help save careers, well-being and lives. Finally, I am delighted to share with you the exciting news that the International Maritime Organization has now endorsed the CHIRP Maritime Annual Digest of Reports. You can download this digest and videos from our website at www.chirpmaritime.org, where you can also contact us or find all our reports, news bulletins and briefings. So until we meet next time on CHIRP News, safe sailing to you all.